Hi everyone. I am now needing to clear off my desk a little bit, and because I've been making these here stars like all day long. Well, except for when I was napping, I didn't make them while I was napping. But after making all of these stars, I have all of these scrap pieces, all of these little extra pieces that I cut off, and so I figured that what I'm going to do is I want to do some slashing with my pieces. I'm going to stack my pieces up and I'm going to put them all. I'm gonna slash them. That's what we do. Slash them. Okay, that leaf is in the way. Okay, so anyway, I have a 10 by 10 square here. I make a lot of 10 by 10 squares that have no reason, no purpose. But after I get a bunch of 10 by 10 squares made up, I just put them together. And whenever I make them, I always make them double-sided so that they don't need a backing if I put them, once I get them together. So I'm using this piece of fabric here, and then I'm going to use the same fabric for the front, like this. And so what I do is here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these pieces. These are all the extra pieces that I had from making my stars, because when I make my stars, I start out with a strip, this folded and ironed strip that's like 16 inches long, but I don't need it that long, but I make it extra long just so I know I have enough, because I don't know the right way to do things, and so I do things just however works for me. So then I end up, that was my last video I made, and I made that one earlier today. 2 videos in one day, man, to tell you. And so then I end up with all these different pieces of the scraps. But if you've ever done any slashing, slashed fabrics are fun. Slashing fabrics, fabric slashing is just really fun, and I love the look of it. It's something you do. It's something that you do, and when you first make it, you don't see the beauty in it so much as you do after you wash it. After you wash it and dry it, then you see, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. So I got them all ironed when I was making the stars, and so now I'm just going to put them on here, and I'm going to put about 3 layers. I think about 3 layers of fabric scraps. I'm just going to, I guess I don't really have to press each one. That's too much work, and I'm not really into all this work, so no, I don't have to press each one. And so I'm going to just layer these fabrics up and see how all the colors are different. And all my little scraps. And so we'll get them all put on here. And see, now I'm going to go with another layer. Now see, what I'm going to do here now, I think what I want to do is to make sure that when I layer, that the colors are lighter on darker or darker on lighter, see, and because then when you slash them, it's just beautiful. Now, even if I were to put some of these upside down, then that's okay too, because once they're slashed. And we'll give that a little press here, a little press here. Okay. And so so it doesn't matter if they're right side up or upside down once you're putting them in like this. And so I'm just gonna stack them in any kind of scrap. And then if you do this slashing, you don't even have to have scraps. You could just add up a whole bunch of layers too. You know, it doesn't have to be scraps, but I like using up my scraps this way. Okay, so we're getting this where it looks like I want to have at least 3 layers in each area. So you tell me if I'm missing any spots. And but see how that's looking? It's colorful. These are all my scraps. These are all the pieces I didn't use in the original doohickey. When you're 73 years old, you start forgetting what words to use, and so you just have to say say any kind of a word just to kind of fill in the blanks. Okay, I think I've pretty much got it covered up. I think I've pretty much used up all the scraps from those stars that I made. Okay, so see, then what I do is I'm going to take this top piece and I'm going to put that over the whole top. And then, now I'll go ahead and press it all down. And this is a really pretty look when it's done. I have done, this one I'm going to do in squares. I've done this fashion in squares and in stripes and in circles. So if you do like a circle around and just keep going around and around and around with your slashing, it's pretty. Or if you just do lines of fabric and slash in between, that's pretty. Oops, I gotta reach over here and get my ruler. Okay, here's my ruler. Okay, so what I want to get my squares pretty much even and the same. So what I'm going to do is I got some fabric markers here. So I'm going to use the markers. Let me see, maybe I need to get a brighter color here. I got these from Artesia, and I'm very happy with these. They're permanent fabric markers, which you could use if you have fabric chalk or something. You can use that too, and because you probably don't want anything permanent, but using the permanent is okay because it's going to all blend in. But I'm doing the marker because that's where I'm going to make my sewing line. And so, and I'm just using the width of this ruler, which it looks like it's about 1.5 inches wide. And you don't have to make them that wide. I have made some of my squares like this. I've made smaller. I've done this before even on video, but I tend to repeat myself. Just like in real life, in talking, I repeat myself. Okay, get this edge. Now I'll make my lines this way. Start up here. So I get a seam at the top, and then there'll be a seam here. And see now. We'll get them all lined up, so I have all the lines. And that's like a good size square. This end one is a little narrower because I need to get a stripe at the bottom. Okay, so there I have my lines. So my guidelines so that I'll know where to sew. Now my pin cushion, see this, I gotta clean my desk off. How I had this perfectly cleared off on Thanksgiving, and I said, oh, I'm just gonna leave it cleared off like this. But I lied to myself because I have it all. So I'm gonna put just a few straight pins in here, kind of to hold it together a bit. I'll pull them out as I stitch. And I might not have this all completely accurate, you know, as far as my edges are going here, but that's okay. Because I don't go for accuracy ever. Not even ever. Nope, not even ever. So this should be enough pins to hold that together while I stitch. So what I'll do now is I'm going to drag my sewing machine. Okay, I have got my sewing machine. I'll tell you, this was about the best purchase I ever made. Let me see if I can see. This here table is actually a bedside table that you would see like in the hospital. Well, now they got fancier ones than this, but what you would see in a hospital, these bedside tables. And so then I can have it right there. I mean, I roll it away from me. I'm still sitting in the same place, but I roll it away from me and get it out of the way. Then when I want to sew, then there I go. I can just stitch. I can just pull it right to me, just turn my chair, and there I go. And so now I'm just going to make a straight stitch line all the way down on each one of these pencil lines or marker lines that I need. There we go, and then we turn around. Now, maybe what I'll do is pause the video, so you're going to have to watch me do each one of these. But see, I'm going to do, my ring got hung up in the, yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pause. Okay, I stitched along each one of those lines. So now I have stitched them horizontally and vertically and horizontally. And so it's all stitched together. And so now is where I slash. Oh, I gotta put my straight pins back into the pin cushion. All right. Now, so I have all these squares. And so then what you do with the squares is you just slash them in quarters. But when you slash them, you be careful as not to cut through the bottom. Don't cut through the bottom layer of the sandwich. So I did have, good night noise. I had in my, it's in my pocket. Okay, in my pocket. My seam ripper. Okay, I use a seam ripper. And what I do is I go from the corner to the corner. And when you have a seam ripper, it's pointy on one side and there's a little ball on the other side. It's best to use the one with the ball at the bottom. Although I'm going to start it right quick. And usually I'll check with my finger to be sure that I don't have it through the bottom. And once I get it a little bit cut then with the seam ripper, then I can just take my scissor, a small sharp scissor, and just cut. Then get, and so then you check and see, did you get through all the layers other than the bottom? Let's see what we have here. There we go. Once you get through the whole thing, yep, I got through the whole thing, all the layers. Then I want to go the opposite way. But see, now I can just go with the scissors through all the layers. And we do each square like that. And so then you can see how the whole thing just opens up like this. And you do each square like that. I'm going to start it with the ripper. And then go, oh, darn it, I got to turn this iron off. I swear I keep touching that iron with my arm. Lord knows. It done burnt it a couple of spots, I'm telling you. If I had my table cleared off a little bit, I'd have my iron more out of my way. But I have too much clutter right here. I'm a clutter bug. Although I have been getting better. I have been getting better about my clutter. And I'm getting more organized, which each time I do something that gets me a little bit more organized, I get a little bit more happy with myself. Okay, so I'm not, oh, that's better. Oh, these are Artesia scissors. I love these scissors I got from Artesia too, because I can go through many layers of fabric. And there, I got that one. Now see, I got those two done. And I'm going, you see, sometimes I'll end up with a little spot there. And lost my, okay. I'm going to pause this. I've got to eat. I'm feeling really awful. I think my sugar is really low right now. So I got to go find something to eat. But then I'm going to work on some more of these. So I'm going to pause and I'm going to go eat.